Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. How is everyone this fine Woo Wednesday? We are back. Yes, we are back. Welcome, everybody. Yes, we have a new edition over here. This is a new bookcase for Wrigley's Books, and it's like a turnstile. So it's a very small room, as you guys know. I've said it a million times. So we needed something more vertical than horizontal as far as book storage, and he got this for his birthday, so he still has yet a huge tote of books over here that he still needs to add. And I am trying this new thing as a mom where I'm just kind of stepping back, not with the responsibility of making them be responsible, but as far as me just doing the thing for them. So, I've gently asked him a few times, can you get upstairs and get those books going? And normally, past version of me would have stepped in and just did it because I'm sick of waiting, right? But no, we're trying new things around here to get these kids a little more responsible for their own stuff. So yes, welcome back. It was a week. It was a week, and I'm trying to think, a week and a half, maybe, since I saw you guys last. I can't remember. A week, 2 weeks. Oh man, it feels like forever. I'll tell you that much. Let's just see. Let's go back to my channel and see when the last live stream was before today. 11 days ago. Okay, so it was Friday, not last Friday, but the one before. Oh my gosh. It feels like forever, but yet at the same time, not. But I missed you guys. I hope you're all doing well. And welcome back to Woo Woo Wednesday. Today we're going to be doing a free collective reading for everybody who's here and or watching the replay that wants to get involved in the collective reading. And we do already have a couple donations, one from Katie. I need to update this list. And then one card for Jessa, aka Solar Siren. And okay, so that's what we're currently looking at for our donation list. And it was almost 3 minutes late because obviously the kids are home for Thanksgiving break, so I had to set them to their chores and activities so that we can have a quiet house, hopefully. And they did sleep in, so, which, if you guys know my kids at all, they do not usually sleep in, but it's just this past year, not even year, like this school year, since school started in September, or well, August, that Wrigley has been like on weekends, like he's catching up on sleep and he's growing so much. So he just woke up at about 10 o'clock. Right now we're at 11:06. So that is really late for him to be waking up, but all right. So let us know that you're here. We have Banana Anna S. Welcome. I know Jessa was going to be potentially leaving for a job interview at some point during the live stream, so I do need to timestamp her reading, which I do have some paper in here. I'm trying to just find a scrap piece of paper. What's this? A note. Uncle Fred has red eyes and the smallest nose ever. He has one of the biggest foreheads, and his something is blue. Mouth is blue, and he has one ear, and he shaved his eyebrows and has a beard. He loves mayo. He has mayo cans for shoes. You guys want to see a picture of Uncle Fred? Wrigley does not literally have an Uncle Fred. I think this was a cartoon concept idea that he was doing, but oh my gosh, the things you find. The things you find. I'm going to set that over here so it doesn't get lost. I just need a scrap. Well, he's already drawn on that scrap, so that's probably not what we do either. Well, this one's ripped off from his sketch pad, so we'll use this today. I'll fold it in half so we have room on the table here. Jay McDonald, welcome. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well, my dear. All right, well, I think we're almost to that 5-minute mark. We might as well just jump in and do our free collective reading and then get right into our donations for the day. Anyone have any fun things going on recently? I know it feels like it's been forever since I've seen you guys. I'm like, there's so much that's happened, but yet life is kind of just normally boringly the same all at the same time. Wrigley did have his birthday party on Friday. My mom was here Friday. That's the main reason I didn't go live, was my mom was coming on Friday. So we got to enjoy her while she was here. Her birthday was Saturday, so we got to have like a double birthday whammy. Wrigley, it was funny because we had 18 invitations. There were 20 originally, but I messed up on the writing 2 of them out. So I only sent him to school with 18, and he passed out 10 like 2.5 weeks before the party. I usually like to do invitations 3 weeks, about 2.5 weeks before the party. So he passed like the initial 10 of like his besties out, and they all RSVP'd within, a day or two. So I'm like, okay, 10 kids, that's awesome. Well, what about the rest? He's like, oh, they're in my locker. I never passed out the rest. Because he had like those core like 10 kids he definitely wanted to invite. And then he just wanted me to put all the rest of them in an envelope with no one's name on it so that he could just pass it out as he thought, oh, let me invite that kid or whoever. So he passed a couple out like kind of the week leading up to the party, maybe 3 or 4 he passed out. And then the Thursday, which, it was Wednesday before the Friday party, he passed the rest of the invitations out. And then Thursday, for the Friday party, he just kind of said, hey guys, whoever's listening on the playground, I'm having a birthday party tonight at 5:30 at the sports barn. Well, we paid, you get 15 kids, and that includes your kids. So Boston, Wrigley, my sister's 2 boys that showed up. So there's already 4 kids of the 15. So the 10 he invited, like as his core friends, brings us up to 14. And then if one random kid shows up, that's 15. We had 22 kids. And it was a zoo, and it was such a zoo. I didn't even take one picture. It didn't even occur to me to pull out my phone and take a picture. I was just so in the moment. So there's something interesting going on with before, like most other parties that I've thrown, I'm like, pictures, got to get pictures, got to capture these memories. Instead of actually like being in the moment and present, it's almost like I'm trying to preserve memories for the future me to look back on, or the future Wrigley, or the future whoever in the family to look back on, rather than just enjoying the moment. And this time I didn't take a single picture. And now I kind of feel bad or guilty in a way that I don't have any like physical photographic documentation that he even had a birthday party. But like, I know it happened because I was there, and I like remember the details of it so much more than I would if I'm like, oh, smile, everybody, like look over here. Like, so it's kind of a weird catch-22 of enjoying your time, getting the pictures or not, and remembering and making memories and all the things. But there were so many birthday parties when I was a kid. Not that I had a birthday party every year. It was probably close to every 3 or 4 years. Maybe I'd have a birthday party or have some friends over or something. But I think maybe 2 or so, maybe 3 of those parties ever has any kind of physical photographic documentation of said party happening. But yet at the same time, I can look back to this sleepover that I had for this birthday party, or this thing that happened at this birthday. And I remember them so well, even though there's no evidence that it even happened, but like I remember the details of it. And when at my I was in 2nd grade, I had a party at the local Pizza Hut, because it was either the local McDonald's, they would throw those parties, or the local Pizza Hut if you were gonna have it somewhere. And this one kid that had a crush on me back then, he has a husband now. So I don't know how true his crush was, because everybody was saying, like, even in high school, like, that he liked guys. And then everybody made a joke, well, he used to have a crush on Amanda. Man, duh. It was a whole thing. But anyway, he knocked over a table full of all the kids' party drinks. And you remember the red Pizza Hut cups and then the good ice that Pizza Hut has. But he knocked down like a whole party's worth of like cups full of liquid just all over the floor, because he was like hiding under the table, and he like knocked it over. Oh my gosh. But not one single photo exists of that party, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Isn't that funny? Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. Well, I think we've hit our time quota as far as waiting for notification squad to be able to get here. We have 5 people, so we might as well dive in, get started, see what we need to know today, and into the near future. We're kind of coming into holiday season as we, call it, for lack of a better, instead of just separating each individual holiday out, everyone just kind of says the holiday season, which is basically, some will argue from Halloween all the way through the end of the year, ending kind of with New Year's. But I argue kind of more when I think holiday season, I think more, what's coming up this Thursday, Thanksgiving, all the way through, you know, all the holiday traditions and whatever, and then into, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, all that stuff. So we'll just kind of get a read on the energy. It's been interesting. We will put it that way. A lot of what I'm feeling, just energetically speaking, I then will start to see other people talking about it. Creators specifically, like Carrie K here on YouTube. Pretty much everything she's saying as far as like the energetic feeling of what's going on. I'm like, yep, 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 yep. And sleep has been a weird thing for me. Not just with like intense dreams, but just not being able to stay asleep for long, and then you wake up kind of wired but tired. It's kind of a weird feeling. And just the intense energy. Certain people out in the community are just triggered, but thankfully it's not like reaching me. It's kind of like triggered from someone's vehicle or someone across the store that I'm at. Like, people are just insane right now. I'll just put it that way. And thank goodness, me specifically, haven't had any like one-on-one run-ins with some of these people out here that are just acting a fool right now. Thank goodness. But anyway, anyone have any crazy stories to share, feel free to comment. Anything that's going on for you, any weird symptoms you've been feeling or energies you've been feeling or crazy things going on at your location. I don't know. We just had a bunch fall, but we do have the 10 of Cups, and we're just kind of tuning into the energy. So the fact that 3 cards fell to the ground and the 10 of Pentacles is one of them, which I did see, and I almost took the card, but then I kept shuffling and talking. So, 4 cards. Okay, so it's almost like the message, the download I just got was the 4 of Cups. It's like you saw the 3 very clearly, but then you finally paid attention to what was there. I'm in a little pile of Legos down here. Rickley left his Legos on the floor. And trying to roll a roller wheelie chair over Legos doesn't work very well. But anyway, it's almost like, okay, I saw 3 of these, okay, and I'm holding them upside down, so I'm going to take them upside down, actually. This was in reverse as well. So it's like these energies are clearing out some false foundation, because when this is in its upright, this is about building a solid foundation, generational wealth, intergenerational connections, opportunities, ancestral trauma, ancestral healing, all of this stuff. But it's kind of being internalized or kind of turned on its head right now. So a lot of the heaviness, the burden, just I'm seeing like a spine just compacting under the weight of something that just feels way too heavy for it to carry. Like that compression is coming up and strengthening and straightening out and aligning. I'm seeing everything popping back into place, energetically speaking. So there's kind of almost this renewal or kind of undoing of the past. And I've never noticed this so much before, I don't think. But I'm really tuning into this kind of arch this way. It's backwards for you guys. It's like this archway right here. You're just seeing kind of part of an entryway into kind of a new window or a new world. And what's kind of outside looking in is the elder in the family. And it does look like an elder man because he does have a beard. So the like patriarchy. But then there are these 2 dogs, and I always associate dogs with loyalty, commitment, obedience, and sometimes blind obedience. You see dogs that are very blindly obedient, even to an abusive owner or caretaker. And the guy here, the patriarchy, is petting one of the dogs. So it's almost like he's like, good little doggy. You're doing my bidding, good little doggy. So I'm seeing this as like the toxic kind of patriarchal society and just everything that we've been dealing with, and just that blind obedience and following just because it's what you do. That's the law. That's what other people are doing. That's society. And starting to say, wait a second, this doesn't feel right. It never has. But now more than ever, I can't keep participating in a system that feels like, again, like the compacted spine. It's like, no, let's just straighten it all back up and leave that outside of this family picture, because we have a man and wife, or a couple of some sort, and then a small child kind of peeking out from behind the mother. So it's almost like one of these dogs is in the frame with the family. Obedience to forming a family or forming a community, forming a structure that is in alignment, especially with this card that came out first about the family connections, the emotional commitment, contentment, happiness. It's about kind of reclaiming the family unit, the community unit, and kind of rippling out to state, to country, to the world, to the cosmos, to the whatever, just rippling that out from this place of authenticity that has been either suppressed or buried, again, compacted down, and not being able to stretch itself out. And right as I said that, not yesterday, Monday, my husband set up an appointment for me to go to Float Missoula, which is a local, it's like the deprivation, tank or whatever, sensory deprivation pod, whatever. And it was so nice to be so weightless in that, like, hundreds of pounds of Epsom salt water, and just be able to completely stretch everything out, but feel weightless at the same time. But initially, I had to feel almost the heaviness of my body, like kind of bearing down on the water, before I was able to almost feel, because you almost feel at first like your head is just going to go underwater, but no, the water like supports your head. And I did have a bit of a headache that day, so it's almost like just allowing my body to relax to such a state that I'm not even trying to rest against the surface I'm on, as far as like a bed, a couch, a floor, or whatever, but just to feel the weightlessness of it. Almost felt super heavy at first until I got used to it. But yeah, there's a breaking down of this false system that all of us are feeling, and it may feel uncomfortable at first, because it is all we've known in this lifetime. Even if it's unnatural to our spirit, it may have grown comfortable to our body, so much so we don't even realize that's the case until these energies come in, the sensory deprivation comes in, and you're able to actually feel the heaviness of everything, and then allow yourself to kind of almost surrender what's not serving you, or the heaviness that doesn't belong there, to where you can feel the weightlessness of your spirit, is really what's coming through as a message here. So the other three cards that are coming out in reverse, we have the Page of Cups in reverse. So when it says upright, this is a surprise. So there's something, I'm seeing like some sort of news event, catastrophe, something of the sort, that they, powers that be, powers that were, puppet masters, whatever we want to call those people, are going to try to play off as some big event coming up, I would say between now and Christmas. And I'm seeing probably within the first 2 weeks actually of December. It's not even going to be nearing on Christmas time, but during this season, this next season, we're kind of tuning into between now and the end of the year is kind of the time frame we're tuning into. But they're going to try to pull off some sort of event, but we're seeing it coming a mile away, that this is either a false flag, or this is controlled opposition. This is just like, oh, same old story, different players, same story, same-ish, different day. That people just aren't buying it. And this could be another, what I'm looking at right now is the little bag I put the drawing entry people's names into. And I'm seeing this kind of hypodermic needle looking thing here. So it may have to do with illness, or, another type of pan and endemic, potentially. But again, people aren't falling for it. That's what's the beautiful thing about this card coming in with this specific energy I'm reading into, is people just are tired. they're not paying attention and spending their time worrying about this thing to then manifest it. Instead, they're saying no. Like, no is a complete sentence. I'm saying no. This combination is very interesting. I'm actually going to pull a clarifier on it, because I'm like, the ego, or kind of more human part of me, is like, do I say it this way or this way? So I'm going to see what my spirit says is the best way to put this energy, this information. Yeah, okay. And funny, I'm shuffling upright, but the Magician came out in reverse. Okay, perfect. This is perfect. So already off the bat, 2 major arcana, right? 2 major arcana with the Star and the Magician. So again, there is some, okay, where do I even start? So there is some cosmic event, energy, frequency, um, just happening going on that they're gonna try to call something else. And this is very much these three came out together, remember, in reverse. So there's some event again that they're false flag, potentially. I'm really zoning in on the blue around his face, and I heard Project Bluebeam. So there may be some sort of, again, something with witnesses, something, I'm not, weirdly enough, I'm kind of looking up in my mind's eye, like I see things, people looking up, but it doesn't feel like the auroras this time. This feels like something else. And then I just saw a glacier just poking above the surface. You see this huge glacier, but what you don't see is the massiveness of this glacier below the surface. So even if they're telling the truth about whatever this thing is, they're blowing the negative parts out of proportion and not even reporting or talking about the points or parts of it that are actually beneficial, or what it actually means is what's coming forward here. So again, false flag event, lying, cheating, stealing, trying to misrepresent some cosmic energy, cosmic event, way that people are feeling, illness that's going on, something along all of these lines, maybe kind of a tapestry woven of all sorts of these energies, but they're not going to get away from it, get away with it, because people are too hip to their jive, as they used to say back in the 80s and 90s. Because we are looking within, and that is, I guess, one natural positive. Let's just try to find any positives we can. One natural positive byproduct of all this AI confusion. Is that real? Is that AI? Is AI giving us the truth? Just all this, basic lying, cheating, stealing of human and spiritual energy that AI is doing, not on its own volition, but, under the guise of like technological advancement. Um, there is something below the surface that they can't touch, which is spirit. They can only report on or give information of anything that exists within the false matrix. They do not have access to the purity of the original blueprint or the original matrix, which matrix, if you actually look at the root of the word, it means womb. So when we say matrix, matrix itself isn't bad, but like false matrix, the matrix, because a matrix is also something else adheres to. And think of a womb. If there was no womb, the placenta couldn't attach anywhere to then grow the baby, to then feed the sustenance and become this cozy home for the child to incubate until it was ready to be born. So that's weird, because I just got this huge download of like artificial wombs. So there may be some sort of news, or yeah, I don't want to say event, but like news about some sort of maybe artificial womb. And again, I don't know what this means specifically, but this feels like it's within the next few weeks. And it doesn't feel like it's the false flag we were tuning into, but it's again another kind of thing they're putting out there to test the waters, to see if this transhumanism, AI human takeover vibe enmeshment is going to work or not. And again, we're not falling for it. We're not taking the bait. We're not whatever. But again, I digress. Back to what I was saying. The benefit of all of this confusion, all of this chaos of, is this real? Is this not real? What that's going to force a lot of people to do, especially if they have any connection at all to their true spirit, what it's going to do is force people to disconnect from the noise, disconnect from all the lies, the cheating, the stealing, the falsity of what's going on out there, and instead start to go within and connect to, I'm hearing, ancient knowledge. So there is a lot of ancient knowledge, and I just have like such chills right now. A lot of ancient knowledge we're going to have access to coming up, because we are renouncing the old. The old structures have, when we stop paying attention, spending our time, funneling all our attention and, focus into what they're trying to create, and then instead internalize it into our own lives, our own bodies, our own families, our own communities, for the things that actually matter, for the things that are actually affecting your life in a good way, we're going to take that power back and start creating structures that are actually going to benefit us. and crumble those old systems of control of the false matrix. Little by little, it's happening, is what I'm hearing. And in the next 2 weeks, especially, we're going to start to see signs. And they may be different signs individually, that you are tuning more into your own spirit and you're taking your power back, and the false grid is failing, collapsing, glitching, whatever you want to call it. And there is this call right now to face our deepest fears. That's really coming through very strong, about facing our fears and feeling the fear and doing it anyway, whatever it is, whether that's starting that business, having that tough conversation with that loved one, leaving a relationship for someone, leaving a job. But it's about leaving the toxicity and the old toxic structures behind. Immense growth. Because if, like the certain snakes, or, you have to shed the old to expand, to make room for the new. And I'm seeing some sort of little hermit crab, almost like looking for a new shell. He's outgrown the old shell and he's looking for a new, roomier shell through which he can grow. And we already have these shells built into our DNA. The natural kind of, I always forget the name of this. Fibonacci sequence. There it is. I think I was calling it pi or something in a recent live stream. But no, it's the Fibonacci sequence, and that's like natural. And a lot of music and mathematics and all sorts of things, even art is based on this Fibonacci sequence, and you see it everywhere in nature. True nature. So there is this time. This is a time of immense growth, even if you're feeling kind of bland, lackluster in the physical reality. There is a lot going on internally, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, etherically, that is going to have a lasting change and impact. And we have the number 15, which adds up to a 6, which is about nurturing yourself through this, not pushing so hard, not feeling like you have to go. This is not about going above and beyond, go big or go home, unless it's energetically speaking, as far as coming from your spirit. This is not about proving points to anyone outside of you, your community, whatever. This is just about allowing your spirit to expand. This doesn't have to be immense growth in the physical reality. This is way more, we're speaking in spiritual or energetic terms right now. Let's get a final message. Just take a quick drink of water. And I'll catch up on some comments after this, and we will get into our readings for today, which I saw we had a couple other donations come in, so we'll update that list as well. All right, anything else we need to know here in the next few weeks? Just personally, we've talked a lot. I mean, yeah, we have talked a lot spiritually and with this energy, but also kind of collectively out in the world, like what's going on. So let's see. And the itchy nose saga continues. It is just like buzzing and vibrating like almost all the time at this point. And it's kind of annoying, but kind of, I'm getting downloads about it not being a bad thing. At first I'm like, do I have parasites in my nose? What's happening? But no, it's something about an increase in frequency and vibration of the energy around us that we now have access to, that we're integrating it in any now moment. So I just took like a deep breath and a sigh. So if you feel the need to just let it out. All right. Anything else we need to know, kind of leading us out into the new year, or kind of finishing out this year, leading us into the new year for those of us watching now and on the replay? I heard take all 3 or all 4. How many? 3? So the first one I got was the wailing tree with reconciliation. This does not mean we have to reconcile with those loved ones we cut out or the people, whatever. This is reconciling old, forgotten, shamed, regretted, rejected parts of yourself. Bringing back those parts. And then number 59 adds up to 14, adds up to 5. So when we reclaim this, it can feel like a big change. It can feel chaotic and combative, and it's not usually a comfortable process. But I think anything that is growing in this Fibonacci way, there's like growing pains associated with it, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, etheric, what have you. There is an element of pain or feeling of sacrifice anytime you're in this false matrix, or even when you're sloughing off the false matrix. It can feel very painful, because for many of us, it's all we've known in this life, right? Oh, I love this. We have the 15, right? And we also now have the 51. Oh, let me hold that up better. Let's do this. There, 15 and 51, we'll get them together. So it's inverse. It's like reading the inversion. The inversion of the false would be putting it back to the original blueprint. Okay. So stars in the sky, limitless possibility. Again, immense growth, limitless. This could go on forever, into infinity, if you just let it keep going and spiraling out, 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 out. And this is talking about how immense and how big our spirit is. And the limitless potential is greater than the amount of stars in the sky. And I'm almost seeing like a doorway behind this kind of light being here. And this is our energy. This is you. This is me. This is, each of our spirits kind of collectively or on their own, just shining in this limitless potential of the crumbling of this false matrix and what that means for us into the future. And then we'll end with the number 6, again, that nurturing energy. And both of these, 5 + 1 and 1 + 5, this way, there. Those both equal 6. So we have 666. But again, the 6 is carbon. That number represents carbon. And the 666 is like the carbon body. But when you go to the original blueprint, it's more of a silicon based, not silicone as in like the, Silicon Valley, whatever. The like diamond, rock hard, cosmological beings that we are, but also there's no matter to it either. It's like you really can't wrap your mind around it, what we truly are. But again, with the cosmic womb, we were talking about that womb earlier and how they're trying to do these artificial wombs once again, because they know the powers and the energies that are coming through these wombs that have any inkling or iota of a connection to the spirit. So the females out there that are not just birthing babies, that's not the only use of the womb. That's not the only use of the womb. It's one of them. And it's kind of what a lot of women feel, or, just patriarchally speaking, have been reduced down to, you're a womb to bring forward the next generation. And that's all your value is in that. But no, there's so many other things your womb does. And if you want to know more about, just look up, I can't remember exactly how she had it worded, but if you look up feminine and then Ola Volny, it's a W, but it's pronounced with a V. Ola Volny. I'll just type it out. If you look up her name and then put the word feminine behind it, you'll find the information that she talks about, how there's so much other energetically speaking things that the womb does. But when we are feeling shame and we're stressed out and we're haggard because we're just so tired trying to keep grinding in this matrix, it keeps us out of alignment of that true divine feminine energy that just flows effortlessly when we are in alignment with our true divinity as these divine feminines. And even men have a divine feminine energy within them. It's not their predominant energy, obviously that's the masculine. But my women out there, specifically, this is about a coming home back to yourself and the original generation of energy from this womb portal is coming back online. And the more in alignment with the original blueprint and just in alignment with your spirit, your heart, your womb, that you can be and live your life and have connections with people, the easier that transition will be. If you have a lot of drama, controversy, gossip, toxic job, toxic people, toxic family, it's not to say that this can't happen. It's just going to be a lot more difficult for this transition to take place because the frequencies, the energies are too dissonant. They're discordant too much that they're not in alignment. They're not even in harmony in one octave to another. But even if all you can do is have, a few moments of time where you are feeling in your own true rhythm, true blueprint, true harmony, that's going to benefit you greatly. Because I'm seeing that there is no choice but to, it's not even that we're evolving. I'm hearing there's no choice but to evolve. And it's not that we are evolving. We are just reconciling, realizing that some of what we've been claiming as who we are and baggage of our past and whatever, it needs to go. because it's not us. So we just need to take it off like a coat. Again, there's that analogy that just came to me during, I can't remember if it was during a journey or just an insight, a download that came to me. But it was like we carry all these traumas, these wounds, these burdens, these things that happen to us like they are part of us, like they're tattooed onto us. But really, all they are is a layer of clothing that we could easily take off and donate, back to source, as in recycle it back. Not for me anymore. It may have served me for a time in this false matrix to survive, but we're not just surviving anymore here. We're going to start to thrive. That's the vibe coming through. We don't have to continue in these false structures and systems that are rapidly collapsing. And it may look different in your life than it looks in someone else's life, than it looks like in a different country. But those who are kind of the forerunners or front runners of this energetic shift are already feeling this stuff and have been for a long time. Some of us our whole lives, if you're here in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 80s, however old you are, you've been feeling it, a lot of you, your whole life, but you just didn't know. And it's depressing to be in this false stuff when you feel this desire or this resonance for a world that maybe you don't even know, like a home you've never known, but you know it's there somehow, energetically speaking. Wow, what a cool reading today. I loved that. I'm going to catch up on comments. Oh, itchy nose again. It's mostly up here, but it almost like spreads out around my whole face. It's so weird. Anyone else have that like buzzing in your nose or even kind of under here, but like especially like right here, like on the tip of the nose, just this whole area. It just almost feels like magnetized or something. I don't know, but I'm feeling it, guys. I'm feeling it. And I don't feel that it's a bad thing. I don't. All right. Versha's here. Hello. Welcome. All right. Brandy Lynn is here as well. Well, you are here in the kitchen making desserts in a blizzard. Oh, no. Yeah, we got some snow last night, which was a complete surprise to me. Let's see. You can see it. There it is. It looks blown out, but no, that's snow. And yes, Wrigley needs to deal with his clutter over there. This room, I swear, if I don't keep up on it, it will get bad real fast. Hence why we're trying to teach responsibility over here with this new bookshelf. All right, Brandy Lynn's here, cooking, making desserts. Very fun. Versha's here. A lot will happen due to so many planets retro and Rahu affecting a lot of people. And interestingly enough, Rahu either did or is about to go into Shatabisha Nakshatra. It's in, the heart of Aquarius. All of Shatabisha Nakshatra exists only in Aquarius, whereas something like, I think it's Mrigashira Nakshatra, it goes from Taurus to Gemini, or something like Swati Nakshatra, Chitra Nakshatra, it goes from Virgo into Libra. There are certain nakshatras like Ardra only happens in Gemini. I think Danisha only happens in Capricorn, and for sure Shatabisha only happens in Aquarius. So each zodiac sign has a nakshatra that is solely their zodiac sign's nakshatra. And the Shatabisha nakshatra actually it's the nakshatra of 1,000 healers. So things can go, and of course Aquarius and being in a false matrix, things can get even more technologically separated and call that healing. But every reaction has that counter reaction, right? So where there may be more technological, taking us further away from nature, quote unquote, healing advancements, there are also on the opposite end of that spectrum, something that is much more natural, which is, again, there's nothing to heal if it's not truly who you are. You just take it off like a coat. Again, Shatabisha is going to show us so many ways. And again, it's going to be different for each of us depending on what your actual birth chart looks like. And the other transits and how it's associated, what houses they're in, what other your natural planets that they're transiting can be vastly different for each of you. But the heart of the message of the North Node, Rahu, which is kind of the ghost, one of the ghosts in the machine, that and K2, and I see Venus is kind of hard to break down as far as contained completely within the matrix. But Rahu and K2, those north and south nodes of the moon, they're calculations. They're not a literal planet. So it's like, do they exist? Do they not exist? Well, obviously we feel the effects of the calculations. So somehow they exist. But it's almost like they, in the Vedas, even called Rahu and Ketu a demon. And it once used to be it's like a serpent like your snake like entity that used to be one entity, and then I forget was it Arjuna or oh gosh, who cut Rahu and Ketu up? Uh, one of these deities cut Rahu and Ketu in half, so they would always be missing their other half. Let's see, who cut Rahu and Ketu up or in half? Oh, it was Vishnu. God, I knew that. I knew that. In the female avatar, cut Asura, whatever, into creating Rahu and Ketu. Yeah, depict the demon. Yeah, and they'd call it the demon. Well, if you're in an inverted matrix society and it's calling something a demon, I might say maybe it's something of the original that's kind of the whisper in our ear from spirit to come back online where your Rahu is. And of course, your Ketu is where you were before all of this happened, as far as the separation from. So it's a return to your original blueprint, wherever Ketu is in your chart. But because you're bringing that bit of true essence into a false matrix, it's going to feel awkward and weird and wherever your K2 is in your chart or your South Node is in your chart, technically you've already conquered all of the lessons you could ever learn around that thing. But because it's like, again, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like you're a postgraduate student and you're trying to teach kindergartners about all the things you're learning, and they're just like, who is this crazy person? We're learning the color green and the number 5 right now. Like, what is this person talking about? Crazy, you're crazy. Consciously speaking, that's what you bring wherever your your K2 house is, and the sign, the nakshatra, the house that it's in. You can feel like an outsider looking in that way, but really you've already figured it out. And then your Rahu is what you have left to figure out to complete the cycle from your K2. So it's like comes full circle. So very cool. I don't know why we had to go on a tangent about Rahu, but I felt like it. So there it is. Hope Wrigley had a wonderful birthday and you enjoyed with your mom as well. Thank you. Yes, all of the above. It was all good. All fun, all good. The only bad part was I had a huge migraine during my mom's birthday dinner. So I didn't go over to my sister's after dinner and do cake and presents and all that. I had to come home and lay down. I couldn't even think or see straight. And I'm like more than ever wished I had some of those like loop earplugs that they sell online to like cut all that outside noise out, because there were babies screaming at this restaurant. It's called a Kobe Grill. I don't know if it's like a chain or just here in town. I don't even know. But it's kind of like sushi or like Benihana, I think. I've never been to a Benihana, but like I saw it on The Office. So there's my claim to that fame. Where they'll grill your food right there. But weirdly enough, my little family of 4, we all ordered stuff that they would have to make in the back for whatever reason. So yeah, I had some like avocado sushi and some seaweed salad. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And then we had some shrimp fried rice. But yeah, they didn't cook any of our stuff in front of us. But I had such a migraine, and I tried to enjoy it as best as I could. But yeah, I had to come home and just like decompress after that. And I felt bad because I just wanted to celebrate my mom and let her know how special she is and all the things. I'm sure she knew I love her, obviously. Wow, I did that reclamation last Saturday. I saw 5 different versions of myself that made me sad, mad, outraged as well. Mirror numbers. I get them all the time. Yep. Yeah, same here. You're mentioning the womb. Yeah, and then that cosmic womb, divine feminine, comes right back out. And there is this immense rise of the divine feminine. Because this is the thing. In the physical reality, it's supposed to be the masculine that kind of leads the way, or at least kind of creates the structure through which the divine feminine can flow. But because these systems, this false grid, false matrix, patriarchal system is already so just not right. And the divine feminine has known for a very long time, this system is not right. It is not putting any of us in our power, in our feminine authority. And feminine authority isn't let's completely control and power over the masculine. Not at all. Not at all. It's about allowing, it's kind of like a live and let live situation. Of course, if children need help, we're going to help. But it's not a let me control you, let me start a war, let me, do all these nasty things to you to get you to submit to my authority. And the divine masculine is not that way either. That's the wounded, that's the patriarchal masculine that we know as masculine. That's why the word masculine can even trigger someone that's a feminine, that has been, in an abusive relationship or grew up with a toxic father, or whatever. Even the word masculine can be triggering, because we're like, we don't want to be controlled, we don't want to be beat, we don't want to be submitting to all of these horrible things that go against what we know to be true for ourselves. But the actual divine masculine acts as allowing that feminine to lead the way in the spiritual realms, and to, you know, to speak from her heart, to share her emotions. And then the divine masculine will morph into whatever is needed to contain that lovely yet chaotic feminine energy. But instead of that being the case here for a very long time, they've just completely said, this is the box all of y'all are fitting in, and if you don't like it, then we'll just burn you at the stake. We don't care anymore. So for a very long time, the feminine has been suppressed, controlled, whipped, beaten, burned at the stake, all sorts of craziness. Just because it's the thing that the false patriarchal grid matrix system cannot control. That pure divine, chaotic, but not in a bad way, feminine essence. Because it can't control it, it is terrified and in fear of it. So then it must dominate, it must destroy, it must contain it. And not in a good way, but in a way to control and suppress. But we're coming out of that right now. You can feel it. I can feel it. You can feel it. We can all feel it. Even though we may not have words to put it completely into perfect context, we can feel it. Yes, ideas, business, art, reality, intuition, and so much more. It's a story of emotional charge. Oops, it just jumped. Let me go back. Charge attached within the trauma that keeps us trapped within it. You're absolutely right. Banana Anna S. Spot on reading. Thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. Yes, it's a different tingle itch in my nose. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I keep hearing it's like vibratory, or it's based on the frequency that's coming in. Solar Siren is here. Hello, Jessa. Good to see you. Yeah, migraine again. Well, I want to say it was 34 days without a migraine. And I started taking creatine. And my husband was doing research, and he's like, this will help with migraines, especially if you're in like perimenopause. So he's been doing all this like perimenopause research. It's been really, really sweet. That he's like stepping up to the plate, like, let me try to take care of you the best I can. So he ordered me these creatine gummies, and I went through like a whole 30-day supply, and I'm on a second 30-day supply now. And for 34 days, I didn't even have a headache, migraine, none of it. Just since starting those. I can't say that's what is the difference, but it's been known to help with people who suffer with migraines. To, again, you got to be over 18, because creatine is not something kids should take. And see, I'm here out like, creatine, isn't that something like bodybuilders take? Like, what do I need creatine for? I'm not out here trying to become a bodybuilder, but no, I guess it's really beneficial for your brain and things going on during perimenopause. It can help with migraines and stuff, but also like helps with the brain fog, I've read. So, which is nice. Oh, I'm getting texts. Yes, they are finally up and about, out and about. Yeah, check out the latest video from Perry about the 3 dragons that have awakened. Oh, I have not seen that one yet, but I will definitely be checking that out. Yeah, it's funny because I got her newsletter, and I'm like, yes, this is everything, like the sleep disturbances and everything. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I've been thinking and feeling and talking about and telling my family about. And not even so much you guys, because I haven't been here the last week or so, but before all, some of the last live streams, I was talking about that type of stuff. So I've been feeling it for a hot minute now. So yeah, it's very, very interesting stuff. But yeah, enough of the toxic masculinity, right? We're all done with it. Even the masculines are like, okay, are we done with this yet? This doesn't feel good to me either. Like, there's got to be a better way forward. All right, so Katie is our first donation, but let me just get us up to date here. Let me see what we're working with. Find my email. So many junk mails all the time. Emails. Let's see. Okay, I saw one from Marlene. I'm gonna post them in the order I receive them. Just so you guys get what you need here. Okay. Oh, I won't. Okay. There is, okay. So we have Katie, which I think I'm timestamping for her. Let me just double check. I haven't seen her in the comments here yet today. So, okay. So she doesn't say anything about timestamping, but I can totally do that. Katie, if you are here, we can totally dive into yours first. I won't make you wait, obviously. But then on deck, we would have Jessa, who said she was here, but I will timestamp too, because she may have had to step out for her interview. Her job interview. Yay, very exciting. And then after that, delete all these emails in between to keep myself up to date. Jay McDonald, full read, and then Marlene with a 1-card pull. That's the order I have. So Katie, if she's here, we'll do hers. Otherwise, we'll timestamp and kind of bump everybody up a spot and do hers last. So let me update our list so we have it. So we would start that way with Solar Siren. Oh, it says 2097 now. And I noticed Banana Anna S had numbers after hers too. Is that like a new thing that YouTube's doing, or did you guys do that yourselves? And Brandy Lynn's now says 2017. I don't know. What is going on? Maybe we jumped timelines again. And look, 11:55. So there's our numbers again. That is weird. I don't think I've ever seen Brandy Lynn say anything about 2017 or 2097. I've only seen 209. And I never remembered all those numbers behind Banana Anna S. Versha's is normal. I don't know. Versha's is what I remember. So weird. What's going on? Okay, so then we have. Okay. And I'm going to try to use my timer to keep myself on, on par, on time. J. McDonald. Let's see. All right. I'm going to scroll up so I know how to spell everybody's usernames. Full read for her. Marlene, aka Hey Hey, but it may have changed, so I'll just put Marlene, 1 card. And then Katie R, full read. Okay, so that's my current list. So if you're not on that list and you donated, let me know and we'll check it out and get you on there. Brandy's like, YouTube, come on. What are you doing this time? All right, well, Jessa, she is here, but I'll also timestamp it. You can refer back. So we're at 5309. Jessa Gray, aka Solar Siren, 209. And we have a 1-card pull, so I'll at least set my my timer and try to keep on track. But she wanted, before I set the timer, I want to go to her text. She texted me the question earlier. Let's see. Okay. So 1-card pull, message from Hestia. What's my spiritual mama got to say? Because she's so loud. Because her candle, her Palo Santo exploded over her candle. And then her oven caught on fire this morning and literally burned, like cremated, incinerated her bacon. And I already had some downloads come in, alerting her to protection against spiritual warfare. And especially with this job that she's been trying to get for over a year, that job is finally within reach. And then, her Palo Santo caught fire in her money candle and dropped in. And then the oven, the heart of the home, incinerated her bacon literally. And I told her, bringing home the bacon. I heard bringing home the bacon, and then this is like trying to attack on, be an attack on her being able to earn money or bring home the bacon. It incinerated the bacon that she's trying to bring home to feed her family and to feed herself and to, live her happy life. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, you can, but like, why make it up when real life is so crazy already? So let's just tune in. I will set the timer now that we've established what we're asking Hestia, like WTF. But again, I'm hearing she's protecting you. There's a spiritual protection, but let's just see what you need to know. What is she being so loud about? Let's just be able to interpret. We already have 3, and then this one also wants to come out. Yeah, lying, cheating, stealing, trying to take what's yours or prevent you from getting what's yours. She's protecting you from those that are trying to take what's yours. Yet again. And then we have 3 cards here. Oh, I love this. Yes. All that stress, anxiety, worry about just where's the job? Where's the job? I feel it, but like, why isn't it coming through? Hangman energy. There's now a victory. So what this means is she's letting you know that all of the stress, worry, anxiety of where's the job, where's the job, where's the job, same crap, different day, limbo, 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 is leading to that victory, especially after a hard battle, which I'd say being unemployed, trying, applying, remind us, correct me if I'm wrong, over 3,000 job applications, wasn't it, that you've sent out worldwide, nationwide to get a job? And yes, interviews here, there, and everywhere, but like nothing's coming through. What is happening? And it's not like Jessa is just like, oh, let me apply for all these jobs I'm not qualified for. No, she is a like high up level corporate baddie in the solar industry and still can't get hired. Like, what is happening? This, and I've told her all along, this is not a physical reality thing. This is a spiritual war against you, against your gifts, your talents, and being able to use those gifts and talents to literally provide for yourself. And for those who don't know what's going, 3,000 applications. That's insane. And for those of you that don't know, her husband unalived himself back in 2023. So she's a widow trying to provide for her 2 children. I mean, already that alone is difficult enough when you have a job and life and trying to keep everything going. But then to throw unemployment and 3,000 job applications, like big hugs to her. Like she's such, and this is something a woman should never have to be, but always has to be in this matrix, is strong. We shouldn't have to be this way, but here we are. Big hugs to you, my dear. But this is what Hestia wants you to know, is there's a huge victory coming. All of that turmoil and stress and lying, cheating, stealing, energetically, spiritual warfare, physical warfare, jealousy, greed, whatever, it's coming to an end. I want to go to this deck and my tea leaf oracle as well. Just anything else Jessa needs to know. Message from Hestia. Moving forward. Okay. We got it. Lots going on. Reclaim your art. Reclaim your power. Reclaim whatever it is that's been back burner, that's been in this hanged man energy. You're filling the well, which this is the divine feminine for you coming back online to bring that flow of abundance back into your, and cooking is your art. Absolutely. So true. Okay. We're wrapping up. Give more and turn back. And this is not you having to give more. This is you being given more, is really how I'm reading this. And then the number 23, it's been chaotic for you to even get what you've been putting out, but that's about to change. Again, that 5 energy going into the 6 of wands. And then turn back. Again, there's that 51 that we had, that 15, 51, the inverted energy. This is not you turn back like, oh, you made a wrong turn. This is, again, being rerouted, being confused, being lost in the turmoil of the spiritual warfare. Like, where is it? Why can't I find what I clearly know is meant for me? This is letting you know. I'm going to pull a clarifier on it just to let you know that you are being rerouted. Hestia is helping block anything that's trying to still penetrate your energy field to derail you or to get you in this labyrinth of confusion. But let's just see what this turn back card is really trying to say from Hestia here. Exactly. And where before it was just leading to more twists and turns through this labyrinth. Like, where even am I? Like, where are these job contracts? Like, what? That I knocked it out of the park on that interview. They told me they were really excited and it looked like I was a shoe-in, and then crickets. What the hell is going on? Well, your action will finally lead to success because she has literally burned the blockages out of the way here with a lot of this recent activity. So I love that for you. You will have to let us know. Obviously, we'll be the first to know, some of the first to know when things turn around. But then we have magnetism through gratitude. And oh, there's a turkey. And to me, turkeys do very much represent this time of year we're in right now, right? And weirdly enough, I know for Jessa, it's kind of almost like this day that day specifically is like a trauma for you. This is about you reclaiming. This should be a fun, happy day for you, but instead it's associated with a lot of past trauma from your childhood. This is you reclaiming this day with new traditions, new meanings, new vibrations, new. Okay. I could keep going and going and going, but like, you guys know me. I just can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Even when the timer goes off. I could start a rap, make a rap about that. All right. Excuse me. Yeah, over 3K. That's just insane to me. But she's here for it. Yes. May the shift of your will be very willing that the new timeline opening up, sending you warm hugs. Aw, you're so sweet, Bersha. Thank you for the support for Jessa, my dear friend. And cooking is your art, absolutely. If I could turn back time, song in my head. Oh, there you go. Oh, and you blocked your mom, which that's a boundary for you that is going to really greatly protect you, because whether she's aware of it or not, she's bringing a lot of toxicity into your life that you just don't need. Period. Yep. I feel the whole Wheel of Fortune energy happening in the background, some more karmic clearing or effery. Yep, interference being removed. Absolutely. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. Yep. I feel it too. Yeah, Versha, you're on point with that. And look, Jessa, Sun card. And there's a little candle for you to end the reading. Can't make this stuff up. I love it. Yeah, shedding all this teetering. You to the old version of you, not serving your greater good. This year was your year of snake. Upcoming year is your year of the horse. Oh, the year of the horse. Right. So on the nose. Yes, I love it. Oh my gosh. I love when we can bring forward these really awesome messages. And Hestia never disappoints for you. Such a great archetype that Jessa works with. I love it. All right. So let's go to Jay McDonald. And just in case, I will make a timestamp. So let me go back to my camera view. So we're at 102:35. Okay. And of course, I'm going to read it and we'll set the timer and do all the things we do. Even though I'm so bad about stopping when the timer stops. I try. I really try. Currently started a new career without ending my old one, looking for guidance on which one to end. Should I retire from the job I've been doing for 27 years? And if so, when? Any guidance? New job is exciting, but also may need to shift to a different company. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling this influx for you of just really good energy. But there's so much of it, it's almost like, well, I can't sustain this level of commitment to all of these, like all these irons in the fire. So it's kind of the opposite of what Jess is currently going through, in a way. Weirdly enough, I want to start with the tea leaf for you. Let's start our timer. But yeah, let's tune in. And I will ask these questions as I shuffle, because I think that's really relevant. New career without ending the old one. Looking for guidance on which one to end. So let's just flat out ask, should you retire from the job you've been doing for 27 years? We have Dragon, beware of self-delusion. I'm actually seeing this as you knowing what to burn away, the fire-breathing dragon here. And the fire isn't to like cause chaos, it's to purify what doesn't need to be there. And to me, this really is representing that was kind of how you, I don't know if that's how you specifically defined yourself these last 27 years, but it was a big part of who you felt yourself to be, is this person that does this specific thing. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm seeing again, I'm looking at this bag with the hypodermic. Was it like a nursing career or something? I could be wrong on that, but whatever it was that you did do, Jay McDonald, this is about nurturing, taking care of others, putting others before you to, maybe even in emergency situations where you're just having to step up and kind of hold everything together is really what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. But there is this shift. Let's go to the current, the new job. Let's see energetically. So younger woman dealing a relationship with a younger woman. This actually, interestingly enough, this new job is really hitting some points that you like would love to have been in this specific job or position with when you were a younger version of yourself. How do I best say this? It's like kind of like this is exciting, but like at the same time you realize you can't keep living exactly the same even though you have this new job. It's almost like there's some old version of you that needs to pass away or slough off or die or reconfigure so that you can step into this new version of yourself is really what's coming forward. Yes, exciting, but do need a shift. And especially the specific company or whatever that you're at. Again, it's like the job itself feels exciting, but like the company, what they stand for, or just like the people, like there's something off about it that is like I like what I'm doing, but I need to shift the place. Yeah. And that's the advice coming forward would be if you're keeping this specific new type of job, you're shifting to a different company. You're not just going to stay where you're at indefinitely, like as the rest of your life and retire there or whatever. No, there is a shift that does need to be made on your part. To be able, oh, and interestingly enough, it's almost like I'm seeing the dragon from your old job energy coming in and acting almost as this fire that we see here in the tower coming down with this lightning bolt and fire here. So interesting. So even if these jobs don't specifically go hand in hand or kind of weave into each other in any way, it's almost like the experience, the nuance, just the day-to-day of what you did with your previous job is somehow acting as a springboard for you to be able to do or show up in the way that you do in this new job. But let's just see what your best choice is. Let's pull a card for old job, new job. I mean, I can already tell you there is a shift either way that you go. There is a shift that you need to make. Not like you have to make it, but like you feel in your soul, you feel in your spirit. There's a shift that needs to take place, especially leaving that old version of you behind and stepping into something new. So old job, let's get a card on the old job. Yeah, it's like, not to say you've hit a peak or hit a wall in your old job, but energetically speaking, it's almost like you have like blood water from a stone of every experience, every nuance. Like the word nuance keeps coming up for some reason. It's almost like it was good, but there was just this one little thing that needed tweaked on it. It's almost like everything you could or would learn at this old job, you've kind of been there, done that. Is kind of the energy. So that excitement, that thrill that you once got doing your old career just isn't the same for you anymore. And I don't see it, at least at the energy that's going on, that it will ever kind of hit that peak for you again. Because you're ready for something completely new and different. Even again, if it's somehow in tandem or on a tangent of what you used to do, whether it is or not, there are skills, abilities that you learned at your old job, old career that you can carry into your new career. So already, let's just tune into the energy of the new career, but potentially changing locations, companies, what have you. Absolutely. And I was feeling this from the start. You've known on a spiritual level, Jay McDonald, that this change, this shift was what you needed. It's a good move in the right direction. It's just maybe exactly the company you're working at now is maybe not quite it, but you will find that happy medium, that happy balance by kind of looking around in your field at other companies or potential workplaces where you can do very similar to what you're doing, but it's a more supportive environment. And let's just see what that will look like once you find that. Oh, we have the Queen of Pentacles. We had the King earlier, and then on the back we have the Star. So it's like a completion, like a closed circuit loop of like a closed feedback system of you're pouring a lot of energy into it, but you're also getting a lot out. Yeah, and it feels like you can be your true self at this new job. Again, maybe not at the exact company you're currently at, but something similar to it. And I do see by February 2026, you're going to have massive clarity on the direction you're going in your career. Um, so you may be leaving behind your old 27-year career for good and just stepping into this new reality with a new company than from where you're currently at potentially by or in or around February of 2026. And it'll be bittersweet because we spend 27 of our years doing anything, even if it's something grueling and whatever. There will still be aspects of it that we miss or that we're nostalgic for even after we leave. So I do see that being the case. But just any guidance, advice, wisdom. Shake, release, heal, and move on. There you go. And then we have the number 27, which adds up to 9. We're currently in a universal year 9 right now. And so starting something new in the new year or like early on in the new year is very on brand for the 1 year. We're going to be starting new things, even in the dead of winter where I'm at, January 1st. I always call it July for some reason. January 1st is the dead of winter. Like, who starts anything new then? But when it's a universal year and, the egregore of this calendar that we live on or live under, the Julian calendar, and then we have the Gregorian calendar and all these calendars, it's like, but because we abide by it, because we use it as kind of our navigation to go through time, we kind of somehow have this like unwritten contract to adhere to the schedule, to the calendar. So once January 1st ticks up, it will be a new beginning. So you may be Joni J. McDonald. Sorry if you don't want your real name out there. You are going to be just letting go of what's not serving you anymore. It may have served you and served you well in the past, but it's almost acting kind of at that what we're talking about in the earlier reading, the collective reading, about just shedding that snake skin, outgrowing the shell that we were, the hermit crab of the shell that we were living in. And now we're in search of a bigger shell to really expand into that Fibonacci sequence. You're ready. You really are. And especially going into this new year, you're really going to be ready to let go of just those old versions, old workplaces, old ways that you even defined yourself, Jay McDonald, and just be ready to step into this new version of yourself fully and completely. And it may even look different then than what you're thinking it's going to look like right now, but in a good way, like in such a good way. So, oh, and look, it's on the back of the deck, the card that we did get in our collective, immense growth. You're going to be able to grow into this new version of yourself by letting go of that old small skin or shell that you were trying to fit into and continue to fit into. And that initial just uncomfortability of trying to be that same old version of yourself over and over and over again wasn't working for you so much that you will have already sought out this new career for yourself that is exciting. And it's like you kind of threw your shot in the dark and landed somewhere and you're like, ooh, this is really exciting. It's really fun. But the company I'm currently at just maybe isn't it. But that doesn't mean you switching careers was the wrong move. Absolutely not. And in fact, it was the right move because you're ready. You're ready to move forward into something new and exciting. So, yay. All right. Yeah, things will manifest faster. I feel it too, especially on a year 1. If you're starting anything new next year, buying a new house, starting a new relationship, a new job, new projects, writing new books, whatever the case may be, it's like almost supercharged to really take you some places, whatever it is you're starting next year. Okay. Ooh, dropping my pencil. All right, up next, we have Marlene, aka Hey Hey. So go ahead and post your question, my dear. We're going to get right into it for you. And then we have Katie on deck. That's all the donations I have so far. So if you were hoping to get a reading today, you're not too late. You can always donate and we'll get you on the list. Otherwise, we will finish out what we have and we will see you guys on Friday. And looking at my schedule, because I wasn't here last Friday, we're already going to be having yet another just donation only live stream on Friday, which is fine. I still have fun at those, obviously, but we just don't have as much chit chat and, free stuff, I guess, to give away. But I'm here definitely for those that want to donate that day. And then anyone that just wants to hang out, absolutely. And then Wednesday, I think we'll do another drawing and giveaway, or maybe Cosmic Question Corner, something. We'll do something exciting next Wednesday, so a week from today. Barring the fact I have a migraine or someone's homesick or something, you know, of course, I kind of have to play my schedule by ear these days, it feels like, but I plan to be here, that's for sure. All right. Yeah, even Hey Hey's name, aka Marlene, has changed because everybody's name has changed except Versha's name. It's very interesting. So, general of anything I need to hear right now, and thank you. You're so welcome. All right, let's start the timer for one card pull. Again, it's the wrong card. You guys know me, but I try to stay on task. I try. Oh, you're traveling. Okay. Yeah, well, you can always watch the replay or just join us, hit us up next time, whatever you feel like doing. All right, here we go for Marlene. Anything she needs to hear right now? Ooh, well, something's about to pop off. This feels exciting. It feels very inspired. Didn't mean to change my name. I don't know why it's showing up like that. And that's same with a bunch of other people on here who are like, wait a second, I didn't do that. So YouTube's up to its antics yet again. I kind of wonder if I were to pop in there what it would say. Well, I did post something earlier. Let me just type something. I'm still mine. I don't know what's happening. That's so weird. But yeah, Marlene, there's something very purposeful and exciting. This could also be some travel. So I don't know if you have literal travel plans or having people travel to you or visiting family. I'm seeing in the next couple weeks there's some exciting. It doesn't feel like long distance travel, but kind of short distances. Let's just see what else is going on for Marlene. There may be some news coming in as well because we have two cards that indicate potential news coming in. Good news could be, you know, we consider this like the pregnancy announcement card, but I don't see it as literal pregnancy in your case. This is more like I have this idea I'm just bursting to like tell the world about or get some feedback on or announce this really cool thing that I've got going on to my family. It's something more along those lines than literal pregnancy. It's like the seed of an idea that's now going to be birthed into reality sooner rather than later. So this is definitely showing me by the end of the year, there's going to be something really exciting. And weirdly enough, I'm actually seeing you as being the one to want to or is going to announce this rather than you being caught off guard by someone else's announcement or surprise. This is very much your announcement, your surprise to others. Let's just see what this could be. Well, I mean, I'm also hearing you're getting a lot of spiritual downloads, especially in your dream state, even if you have not been remembering your dreams. But if you have, Marlene, you can just write them out in, you know, a dream journal or like just do some interpretation. You can use like dream interpretation books or, you know, Google or just kind of what does this symbol of this thing mean to me personally rather than just in dream interpretation books or whatever. And you can get a lot of really good insight into your life and direction to go and advice for yourself just from your dreams. Very funky dreams lately, good and bad, very detailed. And that's the thing is, even if you don't remember all the nuance and detail of each dream, subconsciously that's being stored almost like on a hard drive, you know, for you to access. You know, even if you're not like consciously accessing it, subconsciously, it's like you have access to it and it's kind of shaping your thoughts, your actions, and what you plan to do in a good way. This is not like you being hijacked by entities like we all are all the time anyway. This is, it feels like spiritual support from your higher self coming in through this dream state, through these downloads. You could even be standing, you know, in your kitchen, like, why did I come in here? And then all of a sudden you get this download of something that has nothing to do with anything, but you're like, wow, okay, I'll take it. A lot of good downloads though, as far as ideas, things to do in the future, ways to make money is really highlighted here as well. Yeah, and this again is before the end of the year. You have the two fastest cards in the deck right here. And all three of these cards, one of the little side notes, if you look through any kind of tarot description of cards, it's about news or messengers getting the word out about something. And again, this one here specifically, it's like I heard it and now I'm off to tell everybody. Like it's very exciting. But these two, this is like spiritual download, spiritual idea. This is not just some random, oh, well, that might make me some money or that might be fun to do. Like this is purposeful. There's a lot of purpose behind this. It's not just some random idea that could make you money in the future. Like this feels very purposeful. Yes, messages coming in hot. That's what we could sum this up as. So even if you get an idea and it sounds very far-fetched or very like 5 to 10 years in your future, write it down or ruminate about it. Just kind of cling on to it somehow to really kind of, I'm seeing someone like with a Jolly Rancher in their mouth, just like moving it around and letting it slowly become nothing. You're really giving it your time, your effort, your attention is really what I'm seeing. And specifically green apple Jolly Rancher. I don't know that that means anything, but that's the type of Jolly Rancher I saw in that little download there. So let's just see. Going to be more vigilant. And that might even be, okay, I'm setting intention that I'm going to just be more aware of my surroundings, my dreams, my thoughts, my ideas, random things I hear other people say, because these are all messages. This is all feedback for you to do something with or ignore or whatever you choose to do. And not everything is going to be relevant. Let's be honest. There are things we hear like, you'll see in comment sections on videos sometimes like, well, I just wasted 42 seconds of my life watching this crap. It's like, sure. Maybe there was no message in that for you, but you wasted even more time making the comment. It's like, so if it's not for you, just let it float by like a cloud. If it is for you, grab it and really, examine it from all angles, that kind of Jolly Rancher analogy. And then we have on the back of the deck kind of another travel card, but again, short distance travel. This is also internet. This is healing. This is kind of moving away from potential specific habits that you have right now that you're just looking to kind of clean up your act as far as some habits that you've kind of fallen back into. And this, again, this is maybe about 2 weeks into your future. So we're kind of giving you a heads up reading rather than ooh, this is happening now. Well, my dogs are barking. They're announcing something's going on. And specifically, that's Walter's Amazon or UPS guy bark. So potential, I know I said that the news was some news or whatever you're giving, but there could be an important thing you're receiving, news, package, letter, whatever, through the mail that is going to benefit whatever it is you're doing here into the future. I saw a grapefruit fall from a tree as I was driving and started thinking, what does that mean? I tend to do that sometimes. Everything can be a message, and it absolutely can. It absolutely can. And just think of all the knowledge you have of the things, the grapefruits. Interestingly enough, the knowledge I have about a grapefruit is if you're on like blood thinner medications, you're not supposed to take grapefruit because it's a natural blood thinner. So why don't doctors say, hey, you need to get rid of some blood clots, start eating some grapefruit? But no, they'll put you on a drug instead. Something like that. I don't know. It's very random, but yeah. And it's very sour and kind of can be sweet, some of them, but mostly sour, right? So you can take whatever personally that means to you and get an even deeper message for yourself. That's the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing about symbolism. It can mean everything, something, or nothing, or all the above. All right. Let's get into, I think we're at Katie's reading now. Let me just double check that we don't have any other donations that have come in under my radar. I don't think we have. Hopefully my dogs will stop barking now. Okay, yes, Katie's reading, Katie's message. So let's timestamp. We are at 1:23:25. Katie R. Okay. So let's get into it for Katie. Let's read her question. Hello, hope you're doing well. I am. Thank you so much. I would like a message from Stacy, please. Thank you. Also, have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, you as well. And everybody. Happy however you celebrate, whether it's a trauma-inducing type of holiday. I wish you nothing but the very best to be able to put your best foot forward and be able to get through that time. Or if it's something you look forward to, I hope you have the best time, and everything in between. Like if you're just kind of indifferent to it, have some fun, whatever. Connect with those you love if you're spending time with family, make it your own. All right. Message from Stacy to Katie. Let's tune in. Let's see what she has to say. Oh, let's start our timer. I've been not adhering to the timer, but at least I feel a little more like I am if I at least set it to begin with. I'm trying though. I'm trying. All right, here we go. Message from Stacy to Katie. All right. Okay. So I just heard same-ish, different day. We heard that earlier in something else. I want to say it might have been Jessa's reading because we did get this card for her reading. But it's almost like, spiritually speaking, when we go back to Jessa's reading, if you had watched Jessa's reading, of course, you already know what I'm talking about. But there've been kind of these like spiritual warfare kind of vibes, entities trying to block her from all of this abundance that's been coming through. I'm getting and this is not just for Stacy, for Jessa, for this person, like this is kind of a collective wound that many of us are overcoming. It may look different. It may be in a relationship. It may be with money. It may be with a limiting belief about this thing or that thing, or childhood trauma, or maybe a huge ball of all of the above for some people out there. But the energy that's coming to this planet right now, and Stacy can feel it. Again, she may not have actual spiritual words or context to put this into, but she's feeling the shift within herself. The status quo and even just going along to get along just isn't going to be enough for her anymore. She's just kind of done settling in life and she's ready to break free. And I'm really seeing and hearing turn that frown upside down. So it's almost like she's seeing the silver lining or the golden outline of what's actually going on. And the fact that, the things going on in her personal life, instead of being mad at her personal life or the people in her life that these things are happening, she's actually starting to kind of reframe or rephrase this as, wow, what a gift. This husband, this housing situation, this job that she feels like job has been kind of blah for her. It's kind of giving her really good feedback to realize I am not where I want to be financially, in my relationships, just in my general personal happiness levels. So instead of being mad at the situation, mad at the circumstances, mad at potential non-opportunities, instead she's becoming very grateful for the fact that she's realizing, getting some clarity around the situation, that she doesn't want to keep living her life in these same old automatic response ways that maybe she did in the past. And she's kind of been coming to this realization, I want to say since about July, but it's just recently, since whenever we did the last reading from her to you, this is like a new epiphany for her that maybe I don't need to be mad at these players in my life doing what they're doing, but instead be grateful for them for pointing out the blatantly obvious that I'm just done being in this same energy anymore. And again, it doesn't mean that she's going to flip her whole life upside down overnight and leave and divorce and, get a different job and no, but she's plotting and planning, and then she'll be able to move forward. And I'm seeing between now and March, she's going to make some pretty drastic changes to her outer reality, her outer circumstances. I even see her cutting a lot of her hair off, not in like a Britney Spears maneuver or reasoning, but just as like I need change. I want to look and feel better and different, more like myself. She may even revisit an old hairstyle she had in high school that was on the shorter side. I'm not seeing like a full-on pixie cut or anything, but just maybe around the shoulders or slightly above, something like this. She's just wanting to make some changes. And with these changes, again, she's really highlighting, I'm seeing like someone drawing like a heart around like ride or die type friends. Like she wants to have this like supportive, loving, nurturing inner circle of friends. And she, again, because this is a message toward you, would love if you could be in that inner circle of friends with her. And again, this would deal with her, having to reach out or cross paths with you in some way. But that's something she is really excited about. Oh, look at this bag. Something important such as a new job or a raise. And I just heard from like Manifestel, I think that's her YouTube name. Get that bag, bestie. It's all about women supporting women. It's like a girl group, but not in that like toxic, you can't sit with us kind of girl group type of way, but it's more of a, we love you, we support you. As long as you're not bringing toxicity in, we won't bring toxicity to you. Just very mutually beneficial types of relationships that she is moving into. Mutually beneficial job that she may be leaving one job, going into a new job. Let's go to this answer is simple deck. Anything else Stacey wants Katie to know? But yeah, it's almost like she's not quite ready to make these leaps of faith or jumps. See now the fool, obviously. But at the same time, she's like she's planning her getaway, if that makes sense. And she's kind of almost for the first time in a very long time, allowing herself to daydream about a potential different future for herself than she may have thought she was in, even from July and earlier than July and years ago and years ago and years ago. Yeah, it's like she's almost allowing herself to daydream, like, I don't have to be, again, stuck in these old boxes, on these old cycles. This is very much, um, no, I don't need to settle anymore. I need that support and I deserve that support because I give that support. So why would I give what I don't get back? It just doesn't make sense. So it's just about reframing um her whole, again, with that hangman, she's reframing her whole reality of, instead of woe is me, I'm a victim, whatever, whatever, which she's kind of, we all can be in that. Let's just be honest. It's not like we're calling her out for being in that energy, especially in her marriage and her happiness levels and just life in general. But instead of being in that woe is me victim mentality any longer, she's seeing it as the gift it is, that it's pushing her into this new reality where she is allowing herself to dream about something different, something better, something more in alignment with who she is, after knowing what she deserves, where before maybe she didn't realize what she deserved, so she settled for the crumbs that came her way. Yeah. So really the main message coming through is she's just ready for these shifts and changes, and would love to have you kind of in that inner circle of friends or people she can count on or trust or confide in, go on fun friend dates with, things like this. Get some additional guidance, just anything else Stacy would like Katie to know. And we have here sorrow heals. Again, this is what we've been talking about. Instead of being mad at all these horrible circumstances she found her life in, she's almost seeing how they are leading her to an exit door that will allow her to heal from this past. And it says, in heartache, shadow growth awaits. Let pain refine, not define you, as the brighter days are promised. Wow. I mean, that's kind of summing up everything that we've been talking about in this whole thing. Let's get one more to see if there's anything else she would like Katie to know right now at this time. Well, this one definitely wants to come out. Pathfinder, trust your inner compass to illuminate your path through love and career, revealing the direction your soul wishes to explore. And again, it doesn't mean she's made 400 new moves. No, she's kind of plotting her next moves, plotting her exit, plotting her next big move, whatever that may be. And also kind of doing this healing work to realize she deserves to go in a direction that feels fulfilling. She doesn't have to just settle in these old patterns, old relationships, old toxicities that she's been stewing in for years. And instead, she's freeing herself from that energetically, literally, figuratively, all of the above. Just freeing herself from these old shackles of, well, it's all I deserve, so I better take what I can get. No, instead, she's saying, I would rather have nothing than settle for this noise. Wow. So that very informed message from, so she's hopefully there's no kids in the room. She's growing a set of balls is what it looks like, and ready to take some real big moves and steps. Again, it's probably going to be after the holidays because let's be honest, that kind of derails a lot of people's plans and dreams and whatever, because it just kind of takes up a month and a half to 2 months worth of many people's time just plotting and planning and holiday travel, and we're getting together with these family members and all the holiday shopping and gifts and gatherings and parties and just lifing that you need to do in the cracks between all of that. It's almost like she's gonna get through that, be into this universal year number 1 next year, because we're in this 9-year right now, closing out these old loops, closing out these old cycles, sloughing off what does not belong to us anymore. And Stacy's very much in alignment with that right now. She may even be someone who has I want to say it's a life path 9. Yeah, because my friend Jessa, she's a life path 9. So her the universal year is always the same as her personal year. So it's like a double vibration of whatever year is universal year is also the personal year. So she may be in a double 1 energy next year, either through her, like if you spell out her name and break that down and try to figure out the numerology with that, it may be a 1. But when you have a universal year match in energy, like my birthday's the 28th, 2 plus 8 equals 10. So next year is going to be big for me for sure, in ways that I may not even realize right now. But yeah, and Wrigley, he's a life path one, and then he's also born on the 19th. 1 plus 9 is 1, 10, but then 1. So yeah, it's really exciting stuff. So yeah, I'm really, really pumped for what Stacy has going on, because this feels like a long time coming for her. She deserves these changes, these shifts. She's always giving her time, love, affection, attention to everybody else's priorities and emergencies and wishes and desires. And now it's her turn. The rest of this year, wrapping up these loose ends, and maybe a little bit into next year, wrapping up some loose ends. But she's ready to hit the ground running to deserve and actually receive what she deserves. That's more to the point, is allowing herself to receive what she knows she deserves. That's beautiful. If we could all be so lucky, right? I mean, but she's doing that healing work. Whether it's her literally doing that work to, slough off those old versions and no longer claim them as her own, or it's her higher self or true spirit stepping in to just slough off what no longer serves. She's making some moves here, and it seems really beautiful. All right, so Versha has donated for full read. Question is in text. I was not posting on PayPal. Okay, well, let's find out full read, and we'll timestamp. So at 1:36:04, Versha. I have to remind myself to put all these timestamps in our comments when we are done. Sometimes I remember, other times I don't, and I really do apologize when I don't. It's not that I plan to not do it. I just sometimes forget. Or I'm thinking about, what can I go make for lunch right now? And then I don't post the timestamps. So apologies if that's ever the case for you. All right. Timestamp, please, regarding the quantum leap mentioned by Carrie's video. I feel I am a front runner, more personal guidance to navigate this void blah moment where I feel detached and left out from everything. Guidance from the ever expanding source consciousness in alignment with my I am presence and my inner spark. I love it. All right, setting timers just to make sure we're on point. Again, I'm probably going to go over, you know me. All right. So yes, I'm feeling that you are part of this front runner energy. Personal guidance to navigate this. Let's just ask for that personal guidance. Okay, slippery energy, and it's the devil card already. There may be two, maybe just one. I don't know. It's just one. Okay, this is good though. And funny, 666 on your screen, the 666 double energy. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, you can't make this stuff up. So the devil card. The fact that it's slipping away, it's again, there's the itchy nose, which to me indicates good luck, right? But also that vibrational shift we were talking about earlier, that our body resonance is picking up on this vibration. So it's shifting you out of this devil energy. That's why it's slippery. It's not as easy to access or get thrown or tossed right back into. Not to say that people around you can't be acting in this energy, but it takes a little more effort on their part to get you hooked into it, as it may have 2 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 years ago, 5, 10 years ago, whatever. Guidance, advice. Well, steer clear. That's the main advice. Just steer clear. And obviously, not to put yourself around people purposely or in situations, or, have snide remarks or comments to someone who's already triggered. You already know these things. So that's not really even true advice coming through. It's just to remind yourself in any now moment to pick your battles, especially with these people who are very heavily controlled by this matrix system, and just to kind of slough it off, let it go. But again, if they are attacking you, trying to make me not see so good either, like removing the clarity or trying to confuse you in some way, that there's always a message in things for sure. But just bringing new clarity, allowing this falsity, the confusion of this matrix collapse and death, it's going to bring a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos, a lot of people lashing out, obviously, because their foundation is shaking. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to cling. Even people who are on a more spiritual tilt to themselves, it's scary. Change can be scary, even when it's changes we are really ready and raring to go, and ready to make. It can still be scary. Um, control, fear, and everything a deal breaker now. I am like, the F you are you even trying to do? I do my best to shut my mouth and just observe. Yeah. And that doesn't mean you have to become this victim or this doormat to be walked all over. Of course, if your boundary is being stepped over or on, you can speak up. Obviously, this is not about just being this meek and mild little mouse in the corner, not saying or doing anything. It's not what that's about either. But when you know that your contribution is not going to elevate the situation, and in fact it may worsen the situation, that's when you know, pick your battle. It's probably not a battle you're willing to fight anyway at this point. But let's just see any other advice, guidance, wisdom, and I'm going to read more of that question as well, so we really hit the points of it. Yeah, personal guidance to navigate this void. Stand true in the authority of knowing who the F you are. And not just as a spiritual being, but also as this human, or who you regard yourself to be as this human version of yourself. But also stepping more into that feminine and finding ways to ground yourself in your feminine energy. This can look like self-care rituals, decorating an altar, or, doing whatever kind of work, rituals, shamanic journeys, or just tuning into your heart space. That can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be these over the top rituals that are, usually like commercialized divinity. You don't need any of that. If it feels good to have that stuff and it makes you feel more on mission or on point, then do it. But if you just want to tune into your heart and do all these things on your own and just connect to Mother Earth and your true spirit, then do it that way. Woo. And there's a lot of rest that'll allow you to integrate. So just stepping back, not having to, kind of like I was talking, I know you probably missed the beginning of the live stream, but I had mentioned that Wrigley got this for his birthday. It's a big tower like structure of bookshelf. And I've asked him maybe 2, 3, 4 times at this point, hey, let's get all those books on the shelf. Let's get that done so we can get your room cleaned up and have everything where it needs to be. And he's kind of dragging his feet about it. But I was saying, past version of me would have stepped in and just kind of sighed really deeply and rolled my eyes and just put all the books on the shelf for him, rescuing him from his own chore. But this version of me is like, no, they'll get on the shelf. It's not a dire emergency. Those books will get on the shelf. I'll remind him. And at some point, he's going to be sick of tripping over this tote full of books that's adhering his entrance to his closet, and put them on the shelf, because it's that just resistance to the change. Staying in the same energy is going to be more uncomfortable than just taking 15, 20 minutes of his life and putting all his books on a shelf, clearing the way, and now being able to easily access his closet. So it's almost like you're stepping back from having to be all things to all people and just being everything to yourself. Of course, you're still being a parent and you're still doing whatever, but it's not to the point where you're doing everyone's job for them, is really what's coming through. Let's catch up on comment. S has completely stepped back. We are staying a stranger in the same home. I am calling out odd behavior a lot, but it's very strange. I've stopped explaining myself to S or K anymore. I am tired. Then I am tired. Exactly. You're literally what I was just saying here. Yeah, I got another fracture repair from Raylene. There were 23 spirit level and 27 soul level repaired in one session with the expansive energy I sent her. She mentioned it being rare. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's just tune into that and see what before we go. Anything you need to know about that? Yeah, it's really allowed that false stuff to crumble, because this would be like a fracturing, but you can't fracture what is true and real. You can only fracture the false versions of something or copy over an original. Because when I tune in, like especially to like the blueprint of the original Earth or our original DNA, it's still there, completely pure and untainted. It's just what's been kind of put over it and covered. The real of it and the purity of it's been covered by so much. Just I'm hearing like dysfunction and mutation and just not normalness, that we feel like the original is completely severed or blocked or gone from us. But no, it's just all the false that's been layered on top, that when we remove all the false layering on the top, there's that pure untainted access of true spirit yet again. Wow, that's powerful. Oh, from World War One. Wow. That was hot minute ago. Let's see. Anything else Versha needs to know before we close out? Yeah, there's some progress forward here, and you will see physical results from that fracture repair, just from what you were talking about in that video of Carrie's, and you being one of these front runners. It may at times feel like time is speeding up and things are going so fast, but in other ways, it's like, what do I do with this void state? Because if we could put a void card out there, you kind of have two of them. If you really look at these two, and I mean, obviously the Hanged Man would be a very much void space type card as well, but these almost are moving so slowly. You're like, am I even moving at all? 29 timelines ago. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. My mind, heart, spleen, and liver were impacted. 54,000 fractals, and was timeline of exhaustion and giving up and playing out again and again. It's almost like this is speaking to the repair of that and the forward momentum you're now able to take. All right, let's get one more before we close out. Anything else Versha needs to know about all of this? Carrie's video, fracture repair, everything else, and anything else. Open to receive. Look at that. So it's open you to receive. Invite abundance with open arms. Embrace the blessings waiting to flow into your life. Oh my God, I'm like that. What to do? Feeling like Hangman, no one to talk to, right? Well, sometimes, we think there's that saying, just throw your arms up and give up. Like, I quit, I give up. But sometimes just opening yourself and surrendering, not in a fatalistic type of surrender way, but in a, all right, I'm surrendering to my spirit. I'm surrendering to the divine, not to the matrix, because we don't want to do that. That's sacrificing ourselves to the matrix. We don't want to do that. But really, to me, that looks like a V for victory. And on the inverse of that, once you open yourself to receive, what do you receive? Divine flow. Let go of attachment of the outcome, and the universe brings gifts, but also attachment to the old versions, these fractured parts of ourselves. It's not that we release those versions of ourselves, it's that we reintegrate them and realize they were never fractured from that divine source. There's almost this illusion or like hijacking of that energy to make us think it's been fractured. But truly, nothing of true spiritual essence could ever be tainted, fractured, hurt in any way. It's the false or inverted version of it that can be, if that makes sense. Yeah, forced into a cocoon-like phase. And, sometimes that's what we need. And I call this is one of, and also Seven of Pentacles, the dreaded P word, patience. Because we all in this kind of microwave matrix of I want what I want and I want it now. My attention span's less than a goldfish. I'm not saying you, but like in general, that's what they're trying to put us into. Waiting even a month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months for something to happen feels like torturous death. Because it's like, we want it now. We want it yesterday. We want it 20 years ago. Yeah, I did mention overflow of my own abundance as an intention while booking the repair so that I do not leak my energy anymore. A whole drop of pure source consciousness. I love that. Yeah. So your real advice here is to just slowly and steady. If you feel a big rush of energies that need integrating, of course, your physical body is going to feel depleted or needing that rest or what have you. But you will intuitively know that you're a front runner. You'll intuitively know when to step out there, when to put yourself out there, when to speak up, when to step back, when to not even involve yourself in this like 3D matrix death drama that's going on right now, but being more the observer. And it sounds like you're already doing all of this effortlessly. I mean, it may feel difficult, but like spiritually speaking, you're effortlessly stepping into this next version of yourself, this next version of yourself, this next. And as you step into these new versions of yourself that are technically the original versions of yourself, you're allowing these old versions. Oh, funny. It's staring at me on the back of the deck. I just mentioned it. And there it is. But then the progression to the Eight of Pentacles. So putting in that effort, putting in that work. But you will return to your source of who you are. The more you can slough off these versions that just aren't even you. And of course, we like in this realm to call that shadow work or inner child healing or healing in general. But when we really truly know that that true essence of who we are could never be harmed, hurt, lied to, cheated on, stolen from, that's when we can just slough these things off, like, again, like an external clothing that doesn't have to define us or be part of us anymore. It's not the skin that we hold. I mean, even that could probably be sloughed off. We slough skin cells every day. But knowing that our trauma, our pain, the things that we need to heal are like a layer or an article of something that's not truly who we are, that we could literally just remove. And I keep putting it back on, but just because I'm cold, it's not because I want to keep bringing all these old versions back online. But you get what I'm saying. I am on vacation, but I would love to just be in bed, though I am along with Lemurian Crystal and Stargate Energy at Panama City Beach next to the ocean. That's so exciting. Yeah, if you can just go sit or walk along the beach, just connect to the water, to the sand, to the crystals, to the Mother Earth, to the cosmic womb, just connect to anything that is of the true original blueprint of this planet, of your spirit, of whatever. That's going to really help you feel grounded, but also kind of high in a way. And I don't mean high like, oh, let's get high, man. Like, I've never been high in that way, except if you count when they took out my wisdom teeth, which I do regret that having that happen. But yeah, I came out of that and I was just like the coolest, nicest person you've ever met. And I was funny and weird and all the things. But I do remember like being very, very out of it. But my husband's like, you were hilarious. I took you to Arby's to get one of those shakes, like milkshakes, and you're like talking about all sorts of crazy stuff. So funny. I should have filmed myself so I could see what I was talking about. Because like I didn't understand a lot of it. It's like, I wonder what was going on. I did yesterday evening, giving gratitude to the ocean for holding so much for so long, millions of linear years. Absolutely. And the depth and the vastness of the ocean is just the same as the depth and the vastness of what they say outer space is. Like they say we are estimated anyway, or what they tell us, we've only explored or have charted or mapped only 5% of the ocean. At least last I heard. Wow. And I know there's a lot of garbage floating around in the ocean or even on the bottom of it, probably. Yeah. Just so much just pollution and debris and toxicity and poor ocean. It's held a lot for a long time, for sure. It's held a lot of secrets too that I'm sure will be coming to the surface. For sure. I love that. All right. Well, I'm going to go see. I haven't heard a word or a peep from my kids in a hot minute. So I'm going to go see what they're up to. Hopefully they did all the chores that I enlisted them with while I was live. I'll let Wrigley get back to cleaning his room. And hopefully next time you see us on Friday, there will be some books on that shelf. But again, I'm not going to be the one to do it. So we're going to let him do his own work. All right, you guys, much love. Thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live on Friday. We're going to have a donation-only live stream at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So I hope to see you there. It's Black Friday. Oh, I forgot about that. I don't plan to shop at all this week. Yeah, I'm just not into it. So I'm going to be home not shopping on Black Friday. I'll be with you guys. How about that? We'll have some fun instead. All right, you guys, I love you and I'll see you next time. Bye.